can't believe I was trying to zoom in and I cut the video off, so it's going to be a two-part video. So we're looking there, looking there. We're watching our temperature.
What do we want it to, 150?
Yeah, it's going to get up to about 160, then you'll see the thermostat open, then it'll drop down to 150.
That heat coming off this manifold.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah. Well, these things cook. I mean, they get pretty darn hot. And it's amazing that they work. Thermostat just opened.
Yep, it is.
Alright. Nice.
That is.
Okay, so we can adjust now. So you can run it back to idle. Okay, now then what we do is
Yeah, listen to that baby.
it's not too bad, not too bad. So what we do is adjust these things when the linkage is off, so we know we're totally independent. And then we adjust the linkage at the very last. And we use our very cool synchrometer. It's the BK2-40. You get these online like Amazon and all these
Really?
other people. Yeah, these are really cool. It's very cheap. It's like $30 or $40.
Huh.
And so this measures the airflow or the lack of airflow. Since it idles on the first barrel only, we want to make sure we don't have any airflow, and we're not registering any airflow to speak of there. And just a modest amount there. So this is fine. That's all in the machine work. That's not really anything I can do. That's to do the good machine work. Now this is where we get to adjust. We want to synchronize these carburetors. So right here you can see we're running 5. This one's like 4 and a half.
4
Yeah,
3/4.
exactly. So. Now it also depends on where we want the idle. The idle, this is not a bad idle, but it depends on your preference. So we're going to jack this up a little bit.
Take it up to 10.
Yeah, that's a nice, reasonable idle, and it'll also keep your generator light will flicker just a little bit. So that's right at 5. That needs a little bit more. Okay, did you hear the idle go up a little bit?
I did.
So we got that, we're doing okay there. Now we're going to adjust our idle mixture screw. Now these, what you do with these is you screw them in until the engine stumbles, you screw them back out until the engine stumbles, then you get your midpoint. And these have been remachined. The factory units, you could crank on these like almost a full turn before they did anything. These things are very sensitive. Okay, here, alright. Here, pick up a little bit.
Yep.
Starting to run rough. So we'll get our midpoint approximately there. Do the same thing over here.
So you're not making them a half a turn.
No. Since these have been drilled out, plugged, and then re-drilled with the proper taper, it makes a huge difference in your ability to get the minute adjustments on these things. And again, it's the machine work. I mean, like I say, you know, a blind, deaf, and dumb monkey could do this assembly work, except he doesn't show up, so I have to do it. But it's all the machine work, and that's what took so long for us to get these things done. And here, degrade a little bit there. Doesn't take much. Find our midpoint, and we can double check on our Airflow, still at 5.
5 right on the money.
Still at 5.
Right on the money.
And then the last thing you do is this will be in the instructions, but you'll have all your linkage already set up. And last thing you do is, that's why this is on a turnbuckle, so that all you have to do is adjust this to where you just want it to snap in place, and nothing changes. And that's it. Ah! Didn't like that. Poor little engine. Didn't like that. Well, we got to see, that's why we test the carburetors. We have a spontaneous leak.
Carburetor pump?
Or the
Venturi.
Yeah, the Venturi. Looks like it's. Yep. So that's the fun of working with old carburetors. Now we're going to replace that with another one, and that's all there is to it. That's why we test them. So anyway, I will.
You sure smell it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the fun part of working with 50-year-old carburetors. But it's a materials failure, unfortunately. So.
I'm glad it's not combustible there.
No, it vaporizes immediately. It's never, these things don't burn. But anyway, I'm glad we saw that, so that you'll know what's happening, because I just got a call on that from a guy in Canada where he's describing this exact problem yesterday, and I knew exactly what it was.
Seal?
I was explaining to him, it's one of the worst designs ever. It's a metal-to-metal contact with no sealing whatsoever, and it has to seal air and fuel, and it's strictly metal-to-metal with no seal rings. Yeah.
So once it gets hot, it expands or contracts.
Well,
Expands and then it contracts.
When you take them apart, you can see wear patterns where they moved relative to each other in service with temperature and vibration and everything else.
Yeah, and they also collapse because you have to squeeze them down with a set screw, and they sometimes will collapse. So that's why I test these things and get them up to temperature, and also if it ever happens to you, you'll know what the problem is. And it's every car owner, every 190 SL owner is going to run into that. So I'm not glad it happened, but I'm glad it happened here, and glad I got to see it on camera so that other people will know. Anyway, Doug, we're going to let this thing cool off and replace that unit and do retesting. But
looks good.
It's good for a start. So
you're on.
Doug says good. Steve says hey.